Hey there. This was supposed to come out on Halloween, but then I got sick for a week and I couldn't record the audio, and then the power went out, and then all that crap happened, and then the stuff on the video, and I just think the world doesn't like it when I get a good idea, because this was on schedule, and then it immediately wasn't. I am a month behind on this. How can I redeem the intro without having to re-script and re-record everything? Let me take you to a world where it's Halloween every day, and you're trick or treating, and whatever, man. I don't need to explain it. It's whatever, man. It's a late video. Enjoy it anyway. Go Luigi's Mansion. Enjoy the video. You're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it. Happy Halloween, everybody! It's Pizza Lover 346 here, and welcome to a very different style of video. Rather than a Let's Play video or miscellaneous shenanigan, this is a review, which means, yep, this is scripted. Oh boy, having a script is definitely not my forte. Anywho, I should probably explain how, surprise, I'm not dead. Yeah, I know I've been gone for a hot minute, but it's for a decent reason. And it just so happens that the hiatus let me work on this video with full focus. Probably should have put some mark on the better because it's a bonus episode, but I digress. So first off, where was I? Well, the short answer is school. The long answer is broken headphones. And school. The hiatus began because of school starting and absolutely just flooring me with random stuff. But as soon as I thought I had a grasp on things and was ready to get back in the game of YouTube and Twitch, my headphones broke. This seems trivial, but a lack of headphones means a lack of videos. I'm not exactly the most amazing content creator, but I try my best to hold some sense of professionalism, especially in the audio department. The problem with not having headphones comes from that standard. Without headphones, the game audio leaks through the microphone, which makes a weird echo and just a really bad time. So here I am, making a non-headphone required video, or in other words, a review! More importantly, a review of a spooky game, because after all, it is Halloween. What game? Only the classic Nintendo hit, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde! What? We're not doing that one with bad game. Angry video game nerd, what does he have to do with this? Angry at a game? Me? Oh, no. I've got that review reserved for a very special game. Alright, fine then, what's a replacement game? Luigi's Mansion, a GameCube classic and one of my favorite games to play around Halloween time. It was Luigi's second solo outing, after the greatness that is Mario is missing, of course, and a launch title for the GameCube. Wait a minute, a launch title? That's right, folks, the GameCube did not launch with a Mario game, it launched with a Luigi game. A Luigi ghost-busting game at that. What's the plot? I'm glad you asked. The premise of this game is that Luigi won a mansion in a contest he never entered. He tells Mario about his amazing winnings, and Mario agrees to meet up at the mansion. The problem with that is hiding in this house is actually ghosts. Ooh. And these ghosts? Not a fan of the Mario Brothers. By the time Luigi shows up, the place is all dark, locked up, and spooky. After a close encounter, Luigi finds his way into the parlor where he meets Professor E. Gadd. After watching Gadd get his rear handed to him by ghosts, Luigi decides for some reason to take advice from the guy and follow him back to his lab. There, E. Gadd reveals that Mario's been kidnapped! Again?! Okay, I'll stop with the Mario is missing gag now. It got old the first time I used it. He gives us a vacuum, says something about wiggling our sticks, and sends us back into the mansion. From here, it's our goal to catch ghosts, booze, and stop whoever kidnapped Mario. The gameplay can be broken down into two control types, standard and sidestep. Standard, you face the way you're walking, and it's overall just intuitive. Meanwhile, sidestep embraces the shooter-style strafing control scheme. Whenever your flashlight is out, it controls as if you're using the vacuum. Your flashlight faces a set direction, and you can move forwards, strafe, or backpedal from that position. While sidestep can be used for some things, you'll generally find yourself using standard rather than sidestep. That is, unless you're a speedrunner, but even then you'll only use sidestep for out of bounds and avoiding ghost spawns. With that being said, the controls in this game are still really tight, even 18 years later. capturing ghosts is still super satisfying, and I found myself getting super excited over catching multiple ghosts at once or wrestling a portrait ghost into the poltergeist in fewer attempts than my previous playthroughs. Every ghost caught was just so fulfilling. Each and every enemy you face is teeming with personality, from the most basic enemy ghosts to the bosses. I especially love the grabber ghosts. I mean, listen to the sound they make when you start catching them. And of course, I can't forget about the amazing portrait ghosts in this game. They serve as room-specific mini-bosses and sometimes area bosses, and they range in personality and design. You can go from Neville, the studious father, to Melody, the beautiful pianist, who has one of my favorite puzzles, but we'll get to that later, to Van Gogh, the painting master, and Jarvis, the weird slug thing, who really likes jars. There's not a single portrait ghost that fails to come off as unique and interesting. Well, except for Boolossus, but even then he's got a cool fight mechanic. Every step of the journey to save Mario is full of personality and atmosphere. Luigi's Mansion surprisingly has a killer soundtrack. Despite there being a small set of songs, the way they're used and composed are still able to wow me. The music all really centers around one theme. We all know it. But this song is changed based on the room and your surroundings. Is the room lit up? It's whistled. Does the room have a portrait ghost? The song gains a distorted sound, singing along with it. Is it a hallway or staircase in the mansion? Luigi will fearfully hum his way through the tune. Even then, the song can alter within those locations. When outside of the conservatory where Melody Pianissima awaits, the theme gains some light instrumentation and you can hear a piano following along with the song just a beat or two behind, as if echoing the mysterious piece. Heck, even outside of the mansion, the song is able to become much more menacing, foreboding, and, you guessed it, spooky. On the flip side, when EGAD calls you on the Game Boy Horror, the theme becomes more upbeat and cheerful, gaining an 8-bit synthesized feel to keep with the idea where the sound is coming from. When the music does switch off the main theme, it tends to be rather fitting for the situation, either adding intensity to a ghost capture, boss or otherwise, or exemplifying the joy of the moment, like cheering up a toad or grabbing a key. I, of course, can't forget the end credits song either. I mean, just listen to this thing. It slaps! Now, the puzzles in Luigi's Mansion are where things become less perfect. I'll start with the positives here by saying that I love many of the puzzles in this game, from waiting for Neville and Uncle Grimly, to provoking Lydia and Chauncey with the things in their respective rooms, to just fun things like playing the Mario theme on the instruments in the conservatory and then doing a brief musical quiz to catch Melody. It's also worth mentioning that Madame Clairvoyant has an interesting mechanic in her need of Mario's hidden and lost items before you have the opportunity to catch her. Boss ghosts aren't the only ones who get puzzles, though. There are also just puzzle rooms. A few of my favorites are the Mirror Room, a room where you can only see the incoming grabber ghost in the reflection of the large mirror on the wall, the Projection Room with the same concept, but shadows rather than reflections, and the Astral Hall and Observatory where things get a little distorted and trippy. These rooms defy the rules of any normal house, and I love it. The Astral Hall requires you to light the candles and clear the room before you can progress. Any attempts at going through the open door beforehand will send you right on back to the room's entrance. Once you've completed the Astral Hall, you find yourself entering the observatory. The room seems normal enough. It's a small, mostly empty space with a desk along the back wall, as well as a telescope pointed out the window on the right side of the room. The strangest thing about this room initially is the lack of ghosts, if I'm being completely honest. But that all changes when the player has Luigi take a look through the telescope. You watch as Luigi first looks at the stars, then moves the telescope to the moon. The telescope zooms in, and then the camera goes back to the normal room view. Well, except for one little itty bitty thing. The room's in open space! Literally! The observatory loses its ceiling, trading it for the starlit vista of space and a multicolored walkway where the right wall once stood. Walking out onto this trail, you find yourself at a dead end with the moon glowing in the background, and what a beautiful moon it is. After standing for a moment or two, a shooting star goes by. You can suck it up with the poltergust, but it gets stuck at the nozzle. This is the cue to shoot it at something, and my cue to get a little more negative. The objective of the observatory's shooting star is for you to shoot the moon, making it explode, and reveal the rest of the multicolor path leading to a moon-themed platform where Mario's Power Star can be found. But shooting the moon can be incredibly finicky. Sometimes it'll look as though you've got Luigi perfectly lined up to hit the moon, but then when you release, it goes off to the side completely, missing the moon. This would be a nitpick, but this isn't the only instance of things being off like this. During the Chauncey fight, it's incredibly easy for the giant bouncy balls to completely ignore the poltergust pull and instead hit Luigi. Then, the fight with Bogmire, while a much more minor instance, it can have the same issue as the shooting star from the observatory, but with Bogmire shadows. Finally, things like food on Mr. Lug's plate or the dust piles in the basement require very specific angles from the poltergust in order for them to be sucked up. For all the amazing stuff this game did to show the power of the GameCube, it also shows some of the flaws with its physics engine. While impressive for the time, Luigi's Mansion's mechanics definitely show their flaws from being made as a launch title. Anytime a game is made early in a console's lifespan, it will lack some of the finesse and optimization of later titles. And Luigi's Mansion is no different. This isn't exclusively prevalent in the mechanics of moving objects, though. It also shows in some of the ghosts and how you capture them. Starting with the most minor offense, we have the garbage can ghosts. These ghosts lack a hitbox to harm Luigi in the event he touches them, so Luigi can just shove them around the room as he pleases with no repercussions. Then there's the boos. They serve as an extra collectible throughout the game. Whenever you clear a room, you have to find the room's boo hiding in the furniture by following the flashing light atop the Game Boy Horror. This, in of itself, can show signs of the game's lack of polish, with the boos being able to hide in furniture that's hard to check even with the poltergust. But that's not the focus here. At first, the hard-to-reach furniture seems like the only issue. But then you reach the attic. When you finally do reach the attic, the boos start having 300 health to start with. The issue with that is that, unlike other ghosts, the boos don't remain caught in the poltergust suction. Instead, they just slide right out and into the next room. And with how densely packed the attic is, 300 health boos tend to escape your grasp rather often and send you chasing them back and forth through 2 to 3 rooms. But with a little gumption, Luigi can make quick work of any foe. Alright, it's time to talk final boss. Luigi's Mansion takes an interesting, albeit cliche route on this one. While exploring the mansion, Luigi finds some of Mario's missing items and can take them to Madame Clairvoyant. Clairvoyant tells you all she can with the communications with the spirits that come from Mario's lost items. As you gather more items, she begins to give you more details. Or if you're like me, you just get them all, then get the whole thing at once. But that's not important. As she progresses through the items, you find out that King Boo is the one who captured Mario and that somehow Bowser is in the mansion despite Mario supposedly having soundly defeated him. Well, everything comes full circle once you reach King Boo's hidden shrine. King Boo is there admiring his Mario painting and rambling, but then his musings become much more directed towards Luigi. That's when things take a turn. You see what I did there? Alright, yeah, I'm not funny. Turns out King Boo turned Bowser into a painting as well. Luigi sucked into the painting and warped to the mansion's roof for a final showdown, and I must say, this is a very cool showdown. Bowser attacks with his traditional abilities and a new addition in the form of being able to throw spiked balls at you. You suck them up and fire them back when his head is lowered, popping it off and revealing that King Boo is controlling Bowser as some sort of weird paranormal costume. You begin sucking up King Boo like any other Boo, but with much more health. But there is, however, a caveat. Bowser's head doesn't just sit there and do nothing. It flies around spitting ice balls at you in the hopes of freezing you and preventing King Boo's capture until the ghost and body reunite for the next phase. Initially, I planned to just mention how sometimes the spike balls act like Chauncey's bouncy balls and ignore the poltergust, but then this happened. Several times. While having a tough final boss is good, this was the first time I really felt like I was in serious danger while fighting Bowser. This strange combo alone was able to just kill my flow and bring the fight to an incredibly close push where I had 1 health by the end of it. While this isn't a deal breaker, and being tense during a final boss is generally a good thing, I felt completely out of control of my character and like I had to just helplessly watch Luigi get pummeled into the ground. So what are my final thoughts? How does Luigi's Mansion hold up today as a game, and why should or shouldn't you play it? I think that Luigi's Mansion is an absolutely killer GameCube title and should be up there with Wind Waker, Pikmin, Smash Melee, Animal Crossing, and the likes. With that said, its launch title status definitely shows in some of its deeper mechanics. Despite that though, Luigi's Mansion is a pleasantly spooky and relatively short experience that is definitely worth playing. With interesting puzzles and oodles of personality, it's an absolute gem of a game and great for Halloween time. With that said, I rate the game a solid 8 out of 10. Not perfect, but definitely far from bad. If you're looking for a fun but brief game to enjoy this fine Halloween night, I can recommend no better than Luigi's Mansion. Unless, of course, you're playing the third one on launch day, but that's besides the point. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a spook-filled night, and may your trick-or-treating candy not have a Panzer tank in it.